Hello, and this is the Warforge with a 2000 point battle report. It is a competitive game because we're trying out for tournament practice, and it is Chaos Space Marines with Traitor Guard allies, or Imperial Guard allies if your rules is written, versus the Tau Empire. In these tournaments I've asked, and they say you're allowed a single Forge World unit into your list, so naturally I chose my Contemptor Dreadnought the Warden. And my opponent in this battle also chose his Arvana Riptide. It's a very interesting game, so let's see what happens. My HQ, as we see here, is a Chaos Lord with Mark of Khorne, Jump Pack, Melt Bombs, Sigil of Corruption, Axe of Blind Fury, and a Plasma Pistol, all for 170 points. For my troops choice, for my chaos troops choice for my primary detachment is 2 squads of 10-man Chaos Marines with 2 plasma guns. They have a champion with a lightning claw and a bolt pistol, and they're both 10 men, as I've said, and the champion also has melter bombs. I have, if I remember correctly, I have 2 Hell Drakes with Bale Flamers. I also have a Contemptor Dreadnought with Twin Glass Cannon and inbuilt Melt Gun in his Dreadnought Close Combat weapon. I also have a squad of 5 Warp Talons with Veterans of the Long War. For my allies, I have a Lord Commissar, and my Lord Commissar has a power weapon, carapace armour, and melter bombs for 95 points. I also have an Imperial Guard platoon with a platoon command, yes, because that's what you have to take, a medipack and 4 melter guns for 100 points. For my infantry, I have 2 squads of infantry, both have an autocannon for heavy weapon, and the sergeant also, does he have melter bombs? No, he doesn't. So it's just autocannon and standard infantry. I also have a heavy weapons team with 3 autocannons. I know people say that they're not that good on their own, but considering the fact that they're going to be behind the Aegis defence line, as I'll say, my fortification is an Aegis defence line with comms array. And I also have fast attack for my Imperial Guard allies, which is a Vendetta. And in heavy support, I've got a squadron of 2 Basilisks. If I remember correctly, yes, they have 1 heavy flamer, because I'm trying to go what you see is what you get for as much as possible, and 2 enclosed compartments for the crew. I've also said about the Contemptor, the Chaos Marines, the Helldrake, all the allies. I have a squadron of standard obliterators, 210 points. So that's all in my list. What I'm wanting for is, for tactics wise, is a good shootout. I've got the barrage, I've got the heavy firepower, I've got the torrent, I've got las cannons here and there, I've got stuff to bring down monstrous creatures, vehicles. It's all corners. The Lord and the Warp Talons is just for a bit of fun, just flying all over the place, deep striking, scaring enemy units, etc, etc. They're just a good unit, and the Contemptor because he's just plain awesome. So let's see what happens in the battle report. Okay, so in this battle report it is Crusade, the mission Crusade. The deployment is Hammer and Anvil. I've deployed first. We'll go on to my opponent's army of Tau. Just list the usual.
Devilfish with 12 Fire Warriors. Hammerhead with a reveal gun. 10-man squad of Brute with 3 crew talks. Proxy for a Riptide. Ravana Forge World model. Devilfish with Fire Warriors. Devilfish with Fire Warriors. 2-man squad of Crisis Suits. 3-man squad of Crisis Suits. Flyer, and of course the Fire Warriors and the Devilfish. and infiltrating is Shower Sun with 3 stealth suits and 3 marker drones.
So the upgrades are usual.
Yep.
My list comprises of Chaos Marines with Imperial Guard allies. Here is a Chaos Marine squad with 2 plasma gunners, etc., etc. You've heard it all before. These are the infantry Imperial Guard with autocannon, Contemptor Dreadnoughts, the Warden with his multigun and las cannon, etc. Company command platoon with 4 multi-guns and a medipack with the company commander. Lord Commissar, as you see, 2 Basilisks, another squad of Chaos Marines, another squad of Imperial Guard with autocannon, 3 autocannon heavy weapons teams, 3 obliterators, and in reserve is a Chaos Lord with all his tidbits, is a 5-man squad of Warp Talons, a Helldrake in reserve, a Vendetta in reserve, another Helldrake in reserve, and all those are deep striking in reserve as well. We've already rolled for C's, in which my opponent failed to do so, so it is my turn 1. On to Chaos Marine and Imperial Guard allies, turn 1. Okay, so this is Chaos Space Marine turn 2. These did nothing. This moved from here to here and could not see anything to fire at. This autocannon fired into the Riptide over here. They got issued, bring it down from the command squad onto this unit, Twin Lincoln. So the hit, the wounded, but he saved both saves from the autocannon. These did nothing. These basilisks fired into this unit, scattered 9 inches here. Then roll the scattered dice, in which case it's scattered over here again for the second blast. Apart from that, the 3 las cannons from the obliterators fired into the Arvana. 1 hit, then to wound on 2+, I rolled a 1, so did nothing. It is now on to the Tau turn
1. These guys shot about around here, killed the Contemptor. First 3 Imperial Guards and 1 Chaos Space Marine, which would give them first blood. This just moved up here, couldn't get anything. This fired at the Basilisk, got a 1. This also fired, got 2 armor penetrations, but saved thanks to cover saves. These did nothing. This fired at the obliterators, did nothing. Well, scattered away. These 2 just moved up, and that was Tau turn 1. Onto reserve rolls. Done. The reserve rolls for Chaos and Imperial Guard.
I'm just getting dice out, that's all.
So,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so Vendetta comes on, 3+.
Yep.
Helldrake comes on, second Helldrake comes on, and the Warp Talons of the Lord come on.
Going on to Chaos Imperial Guard turn.
Turn 2 of Chaos Space Marines with Imperial Guard allies. Okay, so reserves came on. These Helldrakes, this is on 1 hull point due to interceptor fire from the stealth suits. However, did Vector Strike, did nothing. However, his Bale Flamer killed majority of them. This Bale Flamer then killed Shadow Sun, enabling me to get Warlord, slay the Warlord, and left it to a man. These then fired bolter shells into the last man, who then died. So that pushes resistance off. This autocannon fired at the Riptide, but did not manage to hit. These basilisks fired into the piranhas. That piranha is now immobilized with 2 hull points remaining, and the other one exploded, killed 4 guys. They then panicked and ran all the way over there, awaiting to rally next turn. These guys ran 3 inches, spread it out a bit. These then fired into the devil fishes, and managed to do nothing. The Obliterators cannot see anything this turn or be within range of anything this turn, so just waiting for their next turn of shooting. And that was also these issued the command order, bring it down onto these, onto the heavy weapons team, but still managed to fail to hit anything. Well, glance it at least. And that is it for Chaos turn 2. Now we're waiting for Tau turn
2. Fire Warriors hopped out of this immobilized Doublefish. This took down the Imperial Guard Vendetta. This did one hull point to the Basilisk and killed 1 infantry. This did nothing. This did nothing. That did an immobilize on the Basilisks and also a movement of the hull point. These moved up here, and all these moved in the assault phase, but before that killed all the Warp Talons. These fired at the Warp Talons because they were blind tests, they were reduced their Bliss skill to 1 and they didn't do any wounds. That was Tau turn 2. Now on to Chaos
Turn 3, overview. These, the gun fired at the Riptide, managed to cause a wound. These 2 Basilisks fired and killed 10 crew tier. Which one was mine, Phil? Did you need to take a leadership test for them?
Yes, I will have to.
Take it now. So you meant to do that at the end of the leadership.
Can we take the leadership? Leadership 7. Fail.
So they run back 5, 6, 7, 8. Could this be off the board? No, it isn't. So they ran. The Lord got into combat with the Ivana, caused a wound. He caused no wounds to me. I love the axe of Blind Fury. Helldrakes, Bill flamed, killed 1 from this 3-man squad and caused the other one to have 1 wound left remaining in 1 squad, and also Vector Strike this, penetrated twice and managed to get crew stunned results so it can't move and snap fires next turn. These guys did nothing because I forgot orders. These guys fired. No, I caused a pen, but he saved it from cover. These guys fired into the Ivana, but he passed on his invulnerable saves. These guys just shuffled around a bit. They are within unit coherency. These guys moved back a bit to avoid line of sight fire. And that is it. Sorry. Turn 3. This is turn 3 Tau Empire.
Okay, Tau turn 3. The battle suits killed the Helldrick that was here. In combat, this killed the Warlord, slash tax, and that was all that happened in the game. Tau conceded, so there's no way they could win this game. So victory goes to the Chaos and Imperial Guard.
Okay, so just a quick note, before we go on to the Afterthoughts, I did make a rules mistake, which was that I didn't realise this until after the match, which was marked units cannot join unmarked units. So the Lord could not join the Warp Talons. However, to fix that in my tournament list, I'll just take out the Axe of Blind Fury and Mark of Khorne with black and replace it with the Black Mace, just to give it a little bit extra oomph and just a bit more bang. So still good in close combat and all that, so I apologise for that. However, everyone makes mistakes, so hopefully I won't make the same next time. Okay, so Afterthoughts on the battle. Well, I found that game enjoyable. It was very tension-wise, is how I'd put it. There was a lot of tension in there to see whether I would snap or not. 3 things I will go over is my mistakes, what I think my opponent did, which were a few mistakes, and a little bit of a rant at the end. I think my mistakes were placing the heavy weapons team inside the building. While I did have a good line of sight blocking feature to it, I honestly, it had a very limited arc of fire, and wherever it was shooting out of, it was given a cover save, but it would have been given a cover save anyway due to the Tau cover save upgrade. But alas, I mean, I think if I placed them somewhere else, they might have done more use somewhere. So I think I need to change that, and the positioning of the Contemptor Dreadnought. I think on the flank it was good because it allowed space. No, it allowed bubbling up for what I thought was about to happen, which I'll say in what my opponent, which I think what my opponent did a little bit wrong. But I put me Dreadnought on the flank to give extra firepower and support to the troops. However, I don't think I should have put it up as far. I think I should have put it exactly in line with the troops, because when the stealth suits came on, I didn't realise I wouldn't get line of sight to them, so he was perfectly well, I gave away first blood, fair and square there. So I think next time be less aggressive I should be with the Contemptor. I think that's what I'm doing. I'm seeing AV13, I'm thinking tough nut to crack, so yeah, I definitely think I need to be less aggressive with the Contemptor, the Warden. What I think my opponent did, which I think really costed him the game, was, but not of his own fault either, because and that's when I'll get to the rant for the last part. I think my opponent should have deep struck his battlesuits onto my flanks. That's why I was spacing everything out on my deployment. I was spacing up so that he had very hard limited positioning to place his units, so if I got hurt or cleared out, I could unravel the shots right back at him. Unfortunately, which I didn't know he would do this, but he deep struck both his units next to me warp talons, which is fine. I can understand why he did that, but I thought he would have thrown the Riptide or the Ivana at them instead of the battlesuits. So I think if he put them on my flanks, that would have really pressured us, and I would have gotten really shaky about that on shaky ground. Another thing I thought was his Ivana gave his Riptide a special ability which allowed him to jump back 4d6 inches, and he rolled it and he got 20 inches, and he chose not to use them and stay put. And I feel like that was a bit of a rough mistake, because, without trying to sound nasty, he should have moved his Riptide forwards 20 inches. If he moved it forwards 20 inches and just say, lol, I'm a Riptide, excuse the internet language, but or internet slang, but if he just went forward and come at me, bro, with all the shots, fair enough, it's only toughness 6, and I've got a load of autocannon fire, but he gets his 2+ save and then he gets his feel no pain, so I'm either going to have, so that would have put extra pressure on us, because I would have had to put more shots into that, just to see whether or not, if it would have really hurt it or not. So I think from those two mistakes, it costed him a game. However, I don't blame my opponent for the game loss, because this is where I get a bit to the rant now. The reason why I don't like competitive game was because of matches like this. We rolled for Crusade, objectives were deployed, I rolled highest for objectives since it was an odd number. So I placed 2 in my deployment zone, and because we rolled for deployment, and it was, because we rolled for deployment first, which was Hammer and Anvil, so again, that was an extra advantage to me. I had 2 objectives, so I've already winning on the first turn from that. All I really need to do is just bunch back up right at the back, have the Basilisks behind line of sight, behind Nature's defense line to get a cover save, and just shell out and just protect the objectives within, and that was it. That was all the game was. And I don't like games like that because it's extremely one-sided, and that's the reason why I don't usually play competitive 40k or competitive lists. I only played this list because I like the idea of Traitor Guard and Chaos Marines, obviously, but because there's an upcoming tournament and I just want to see how this list played out. And unfortunately it was really one-sided against my opponent, so unfortunately that's how the dice rolls go. But at the same time, there should have been set restrictions on each mission instead of just randomly rolling for it. Like a lot in other games like Malifaux or Warhammer Hordes, there's lots of set objectives where there is a set limit instead of just rolling for how many objectives, or there's some way where there's an even amount on both sides of the table, or etc, etc. 40k, as I've said, to me it's not a competitive game because it produces games like the one you saw here, and that's why I don't like competitive 40k. It's extremely one-sided like that. But apart from that, we had good banter. We both enjoyed the game. It was we were really thinking hard, taking a long time to think out actions, what to fire at, what not to fire at. So I hope my opponent enjoyed it, because I enjoyed the thinking out turns and thinking out what my opponent might fire at next turn, etc, etc. Just competitive tactics. I enjoyed thinking things out. So I hope my opponent enjoyed this. I enjoyed my game. So this is a 2,000 point battle report. I apologise for the rant because I feel like I need to get that off my chest. So yeah, 2,000 point battle report. This was Chaos Space Marines with Imperial Guard allies or Traitor Guard versus the Tau Empire. This is the Warp Forge signing off, and remember, keep on forging.